out working out in the warehouse almost 7 years ago at On It. I'm still there on it. I'm a coach in the gym, but I originally started there working in the warehouse. I remember I was going to school here in Austin. I got into UT Austin, the Longhorns, and I hated school, man. I went there for a semester before I dropped out, and actually, I became really good friends with my older brother's crew of friends. Who Aubrey Marcus was one of the guys, and Aubrey was like, "Hey, man, if you don't like going to school, there's always room for you in the warehouse, because we became good friends. Yeah, I connected with everybody. Everybody was like super like-minded people that were super into fitness and MMA and supplements and nootropics. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. I want to come work, for you guys. You guys are doing some cool stuff. And I just stuck it out for the first couple of years. I was just working there in the warehouse, packing boxes, taping up boxes, shipping off kettlebells to people. And I loved it, just because I was surrounded by tons of people who were, we all thought the same. We partied together and worked out together. So it didn't seem like a crappy job. It was a lot of fun. And we ended up actually opening up a gym. And that's when my brother came on board. Aubrey asked him to be one of the head coaches. And they both asked me to be one of the first coaches because they knew I liked to work out. I was super into MMA, and we were still really big in the MMA community. So, you can really connect with a lot of the UFC fighters that we're going to start bringing in. And,
okay.
So that's how I got on board, got my kettlebell certification through IKFF, got to train one-on-one with Ken Blackburn, one of the top guys in kettlebell sport and coaching. And
yeah,
it was super dope, man. So ever since then, it's just been training, training tons of clients, tons of classes, and gaining a ton of experience. I felt like for the first 2 to 3 years that we had the gym open, I felt like we were doing a certification or some type of workshop almost every weekend, so I got trained up really fast, got to train with some of the top coaches in the fitness industry. And, ever since then, it's just been trying to stay up to date with my knowledge. Even, nowadays I try to make sure I'm continuously stepping up my education and, keeping up that client relationship, keep coaching clients and classes. Because now I'm doing a lot of online business, and,
yep.
I feel like having that one-on-one connection with people is still really valuable. So I can make sure, the stuff I'm putting out actually works. I have to test out my methods and make sure I'm not just putting out made up programs or made up workouts without actually proving them out first.
So if there's a silver lining at all to this whole quarantine thing, I'd have to imagine that it's the fact your programs are really designed and developed to be done at home. I'm sure you've noticed a big influx of people paying attention. You can't even find kettlebells anywhere, it seems like.
Yeah, man, everybody bought up all the kettlebells. And everybody's been digging the online programs I've been putting out for people. And people have been digging the content on my social media, on Instagram. And, things are going good. It's just trying to, keep innovating, keep giving people what they want, but also making sure I'm giving them, what they need. I don't want to just put out a bunch of crazy routines without them actually making sense. So that's why, I'm really looking forward to getting back in the gym, the actual community with my real clients, because that's when I really thrive with my creativity and actually, seeing what works. Because, in my line of industry, I know what works. I've been around long enough to have all these like tried and true routines, but, things get boring after a while, and you don't want to just, even for me, I can, get by with doing the same boring routines over and over again to get some results. But, I crave something fresh every now and then to keep me engaged in the routine. So that's why, being able to test out new methods, test out new, ways to do things and throw things in to spice up the routines is vital for me and my clients to, stay with it and actually have fun doing the fitness thing. Besides just getting good results, it's also about having fun.
Yeah, I was always, I was big into weightlifting, especially after I got out of college, got into the powerlifting scene, and squats, benches, bent over rows, and you kind of, to your point, you start doing the same things over and over. You start to feel the injury, you start to feel the pain. But
Yeah.
like kettlebell, I would have to imagine the ability to change things up is half of the battle, right? To keep improvising and finding new creative ways to do things so that you can stay motivated and not go in being like, okay, I got to do another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, a flat Monday, right?
Yeah, it's just, that stuff works, that's what we've been, taught, and we've gotten results from that kind of stuff. But, with a tool like a kettlebell, you have a little bit more versatility when it comes to loading the kettlebell in different positions, gripping it by different parts of the handle, or holding it in all kinds of different positions can really change up the way the load affects your body. So that's where it can be, you can turn up the heat, make it a little bit more challenging, or just, take a normal exercise and make it a little bit more fun. But at the end of the day, I like to still make sure I'm giving my clients and putting myself through the tried and true methods.
Okay.
But, just mixing it up goes a long way, and it makes things more fun, but also can help you access different ranges of motion, put yourself in different positions that, like you said, if you're doing the same thing over and over again, it can, eventually, develop some bad habits or some stresses, because the whole thing when it comes to training is you're stressing your body so that you can recover from it and potentially get stronger or get bigger muscles. But sometimes, you don't recover as well, and you can develop some bad things, some bad habits, and you don't recover as well from. So the whole goal between mixing it up and adding some mobility routines and making sure you're warming up and cooling down properly is to help you, kind of fight those negative adaptations that you can adapt from training hard.
Sure.
So I'm not saying, training hard is a bad thing, but, mixing it up, taking some low intensity days where you pick up a light weight and you just, move around, have to do some kettlebell flows that aren't going to, crush your joints. They're just going to help you keep moving, almost like an active recovery day, get the juices flowing. And
do you use any type of technology for that? Like whether it be like a Whoop strap or just measuring your heart rate daily?
yeah, I love using a Whoop strap. I lost mine recently. I haven't ordered another one, but from the time that I was using it for like 4 months, and I got a whole ton of data from it. And I've kind of just been going off of kind of how I feel now. But I use a watch, Apple Watch, and it's got some pretty good data. But for the most part, I can just kind of, from those 4 months that I used it, I was able to tell how much sleep I really needed to, recover from the training that I was doing or the amount of work that I was doing. And I find those tools really valuable. So if you can get your hands on a Whoop strap, even if you're only going to use it for a few months, just to kind of see how your body's reacting to the lifestyle that you're living.
Yep.
Whether you're partying once in a while or drinking, you can really see how those things affect your body when it comes to the way it affects your heart rate, variability, and you can feel, like when you're getting bad sleep and how it affects your training the next day. So I really think those tools are awesome. But right now I just use an Apple Watch, and it's been helping me get by.
Yeah.
Now I just kind of go by how I feel.
Yeah, no, that's definitely something that, the more you work out, the more you feel in tune with your body and can really read those signals. For me, it's always the stretching and staying active as far as stretching. The older that I get, the more prone to injury that I feel. I don't stay as active in stretching. And I know that's probably something that a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, I think it's hard for a lot of people. Even I get into that routine sometimes where I'm not getting enough of that stuff in because, you get super busy, you're working all day. And when you do get a chance to work out, you get those 30 to 60 minutes to squeeze in a workout. You don't want to be stretching and rolling out or doing mobility moves. You want to just get that hard work in that's going to help you burn some calories or put some tension on the muscles so you can potentially, grow some muscles. But I think if you really want to see some results, you really need to make sure you're focusing on longevity, because I actually ended up injuring myself a little over a year ago because I was super busy at the time. I had a ton of clients, a ton of classes, and I was trying to squeeze in hard workouts whenever I could, and I wasn't really focusing on my mobility. I wasn't practicing what I was preaching, what I was, helping my clients with, what I was telling them to do. I wasn't doing those things. And I ended up actually partially tearing a pec. And that put me out for like 3 months. So that really sucked. But ever since then, I make sure I warm up and I take days where I'm not going hard all the time. So I'll sometimes go hard 2, maybe 3 times a week. Every other day, I make sure I have to move, so I'll do like a low intensity day where I'll go get a light jog in and I'll play around with some kettlebells, do some mobility moves, nothing crazy. Pick up like a steel club or a steel mace,
Just
do some
kick the
battle
rust
rope
off
work.
a little bit.
Yeah, just try to stay away from going heavy with the barbells or going super hard. Anything that's gonna like crush my nervous system, like high intensity sprints or a really hard long run. I save those once or twice a week and make sure I'm really taking that time to recover. And by doing that, I'm just getting in better and better shape because I'm really starting to fine tune, what really works best for me, really waving that intensity and playing around with, not going hard all the time. And I've been able to recover faster and actually hit my hard workouts harder and really make some gains and not having to be in pain all the time.
So there's a question that I really wanted to make sure that I asked while I had you, and it's really geared more towards the increase in popularity that kettlebells have seen in the last few years, even prior to COVID. They've always been big in Europe, but up until probably 4 or 5 years ago here in the States, they really weren't as mainstream. And I think you've had a big part in really making that happen. But what do you think is a big reason that kettlebells have really surged in popularity recently?
This whole shift towards like minimalism, people are starting to eat like more organic foods,
Yeah.
locally sourced foods, and they're starting to get away from doing things that are so like artificial. And when people think like artificial workouts, they think like machines
Mm-hmm.
and isolation movements, and they're thinking more about their health, so it's like if you really want to optimize your health, you can't just be eating organic all the time and then you're working out at a Globo gym doing a workout that's outdated. Depending on your results, like if you want to get a nice physique, you should do some bodybuilding routines every now and then to really sculpt the muscles. But if you want to be healthy, you can mix it up, throw in some healthy like mobility exercises in there to help you try to stay injury free and stay healthy. And it goes a long way. So I think it really comes down to that. People are just becoming more aware as a society about just trying to live longer, healthier lives, trying to be pain free, and especially with the internet, all this information out there, but which can be kind of daunting. Everybody says they have the right way to work out, they have the right diet, but for me, it's always been about trying new things and seeing what works for me. I don't follow any particular diet, to the T. I just try to find the things that work for me. So it's all trial and error.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think it has to do a lot with the kettlebells. It has a lot to do with like how big MMA is becoming, like martial arts, and people are starting to see how cool and how real it is to be a combative athlete. And they look at to see how they train, and a lot of those guys incorporate real functional type movements, or they train in their sport. And kettlebells are a big part of that type of training. And so I think
Yeah.
that's why it's become so popular, especially, Joe Rogan is a massive
Yep.
guy out there. He's a huge proponent of kettlebells, and he's had a big part of helping kettlebells become super mainstream. So
Shout out Joe Rogan.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's funny you say that, because I remember now, like I think the first time I really ever saw kettlebells and took it serious was a photo of Fedor, like back in the day, holding
Yeah,
some kettlebells and being like, okay, there's
that's how
something.
I first heard of kettlebells. I used to see them in the gym. I used to go to Gold's Gym as a kid, do my bodybuilding routines, and I used to see kettlebells. I was like, man, only grandmas use those. Oh, those old dudes doing weird swing exercises with them. I was like, what are they doing? They're hurting their back over there. But it wasn't until I started training in like jujitsu and martial arts that I realized, like, man, these guys are doing some like powerful stuff with the kettlebell. They're doing snatches and powerful swings that
Mhm.
really translate well to, you know, hip power, which plays a big role in throwing punches hard and breaking people's arms. You're trying to do an arm bar, you know, all that hip extension and being strong with a strong posterior chain. Kettlebells are really a great tool to help, you know, develop power with not having to, you know, be outside and do sprints or having to overload a barbell with tons of weight. You can get a lot done with just a kettlebell. So that's why I think they're becoming more and more popular. And obviously, you know, they take up a very small amount of space and they're super versatile.
Most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's you know, you said something a minute ago that kind of caught me off guard, that you're not as particular with your diet as I would have thought you are. I mean, dude, you're the definition of fucking shredded. And
Yeah, so most of the time, right? You know, I like to stay shredded, but you know, there's times where I'm not as shredded, where I'm, you know, eating a relaxed diet because I like to eat mostly for performance. And you know, during the summer, I like to, you know, go into a season where I kind of start playing around with the amount of carbs that I'm eating throughout the day, just to kind of try to make those abs pop a little bit more.
yeah,
But for the most part, throughout the year, I like to eat a pretty well balanced diet. I'll eat, you know, I'll eat a cheat meal every now and then. My girlfriend, she likes to eat whatever she wants almost all the time, so I'll have a couple of bites of her food every now and then. And you know, it's all about balance. You know, for me, it's like eating 80 to 90%, you know, healthy and not strict, but just like make sure the food is good quality and making sure I'm not overeating. You know, because for me, the biggest thing is, you know, not limiting myself to like from my favorite foods, like sweet foods and fatty foods or savory foods, all the foods. You know, I like to eat. I'm Mexican. You know, I grew up eating all kinds of delicious Mexican food. So food is everything, you know, for our culture. You know, so it's like I have to be able to eat. And so that's why I like to train a lot as well. Just kind of make sure I can, you know, eat the amount of food that I want by offsetting a little bit with, you know, working out hard.
sure.
But for the most part, it's all about making sure I'm not overeating. You know, by playing around with my diet over the years, I've realized, you know, it's really just about the quality of the nutrients that you're taking in and knowing how much you're actually burning throughout the day. And if you're, you know, no matter how healthy the nut butters are that you're eating, if you're eating too much nut butter, you're gonna put on some weight just because your body's not burning that many calories. So
Yeah.
you have to, you know, stay within a certain range that's manageable for you. But you should definitely not be trying to kill yourself in the gym every day just to burn off that single donut that you had. You know, you shouldn't punish yourself for eating bad. You know, you should just be conscious
Yeah.
and, you know, just try to eat balanced diet. And so I like to eat all kinds of stuff. I'll eat carbs, I'll eat sweets, you know, just make sure, you know I gotta make sure I balance it out somewhere else.
Yeah. No, that's good to hear. Make me feel a little bit better right now.
Yeah, you
Um,
gotta just, otherwise, you know, you're just like, it's like like you're torturing yourself all the time, you know? It's like, I'd rather be happy than counting calories or, you know, just, you know, I would recommend for most people, if you really want to, you know, get super lean and have the body of your dreams, you know, you really want to make sure it's sustainable, you know, so you want to make sure you can, you know, start a diet or a nutrition plan that you're going to be able to actually stick with, not something that's going to be super hard and you're going to end up bouncing back from in a couple months after you get sick of it. So you got to be able to treat yourself and, you know, not limit yourself because it's only going to go bad.
so I've recently tried to subscribe to more of a fasting type of diet where I'm not eating for like 14 to 16 hours. But with having the little guy, my workouts have shifted to early mornings a lot of the time, and it's tough having the energy to really push yourself through a hard workout when you haven't eaten since 7 o'clock the night before.
Exactly. Yeah, so that's why I like to eat a balanced diet because I usually eat or work out first thing in the morning and maybe squeeze in some cardio or something in the evening. You know, like I said, I like to stay active.
Yeah.
So I do end up eating throughout the whole day. First thing in the morning, I'll have like a protein shake, or just like a scoop of protein with some coconut milk and an apple, you know, just to get some carbs and some protein in me. And then I'll hit my workout, and I just feel a lot healthier. I feel like I perform a lot better. I can hit the workout a lot harder at optimal performance instead of, you know, being fasted. And for me, that just doesn't work. You know, I feel hungry and I feel empty in the morning when I'm working out and I'm fasting. So I tried to do the whole fasting thing. I just wasn't happy. Like I said, I like to eat, you know, so if I can snack throughout the day, I'll do it.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna be snacking all day, you know, you got to move around. You got to be doing active things, and you got to be putting that food to work. Otherwise, if you're, you know, sitting at a desk all day, I think that's where a lot of those fasting diets, those keto diets, can really play a bit more important role, or they can be a little bit more beneficial for some of those people, because, you know, you're eating higher fat foods that can keep you sustained or full longer without having a snack all day. But for athletes and for people who are working out all day, a low carb diet is not beneficial. You know, you're performing at a high level. You want to make sure you're fueling your body. So if you're going to like you're going to hit a hard workout in the morning, or you're going to hit a hard CrossFit class, or whatever it may be, you want to make sure you're fueling your body and eating the proper nutrition to sustain that type of work. But like I said, it's trial and error. It depends on people's lifestyle, you know, what you're doing. If you're not going to be doing anything throughout the day, you're going to be working on a computer, then you should probably, you know, limit the amount of snacking you're doing. Drink some coffee with some butter.
Well, actually, Action, who's the sponsor of the podcast, Amplified is a medium roast coffee that has MCT oil powder inside of this. So it acts as a creamer, but it's also good, clean energy with a ton of caffeine behind it. So definitely check this out if you're into that stuff.
Hell yeah.
Now, what are you guys back in? What's Austin like right now? Are you guys back into?
Man, it feels like it's back to normal over here. There's traffic everywhere. Yeah, it's getting back to normal. I mean, not everything's open, but it's feeling like it's almost there. But thankfully, you know, I mean, I hope things get back to normal. I want to be safe, and, you know, I don't want people to get sick, but I feel like, you know, people want to get back to work, man. We want to, you know, get back to normal life.
Yeah, no, I hear.
Where are you located at?
So I'm in Pittsburgh, PA right now. So
and how's it over there?
Man, it's strange. You know, it's Pittsburgh's really interesting in that it's probably similar to Austin, where Texas and Austin are kind of probably a lot different. Pittsburgh's similar to that. Western PA, it's very rural. Where I grew up in northwestern Pennsylvania, it's even worse than that. You know, I was back home a couple of weeks ago, and there were more people at the Walmart not wearing a mask than wearing a mask. And so, you know, it's just the perspective. It's the way of life. They've had less than 10 cases in the entire county. So you almost have to expect that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm optimistic.
Yeah, me too. I think the numbers are getting better from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's bogus, though? So all kinds of stuff going around right now. I'm just staying focused on the things that I can control, and you know, staying in touch with family members, and you know, just making sure everybody around me is safe.
Yeah, no, and
it's not so bad.
I commend people like you, man. You've been kicking my ass like for the last 2 months. It's been an excuse to like have a reason to have to push myself, and it's easy to scroll through Instagram and you're like, oh, this is cool. I'll like that. I'll throw a couple emojis in the comments, and but that to have a reason now and being like, shit, okay. That's got to be really, really fun in a way to kind of like, you're always making an impact, right? But to be able to make an impact in a time like this where people are probably coming across you for the first time, maybe like it's their first, like, hey, you know what? I'm going to make something positive out of this bad situation.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's been awesome, you know, being able to there's definitely been a lot of growth, you know, a lot of new people coming on and digging the videos and stuff. So that's been awesome, you know, helping people. And that's always been my goal, is just, you know, just share what I like to do. And if people like it, you know, they can do it too. and, realize, social media has been a really powerful tool to reach tons of people, and, getting positive feedback and, awesome messages from people who say, I've been quarantined for the last 2 months and I lost 30 pounds. And,
That's fucking great.
getting stuff like that is all. I just love hearing that kind of stuff. I love seeing people, seeing results and liking the material, and that's changing their lives. That only, helps strengthen my belief in what I'm doing, and it helps me, want to keep working harder and, just keep pushing forward. And like I said, just trying to control the things that I can't control. And, right now I'm just doing my best to, keep pushing the business forward, keep producing videos and writing new programs, and really just taking this time to, get ready to, I'm actually getting ready to launch my app on iPhone and Android. So we've been busting our butts off for the last couple months. We've been like all year, since the year started, we've been working really hard to get it done. And, after this whole situation happened with the pandemic, it's, I'm not at the gym, so I've had more time to really focus on my own business. And it's been, just, all, just, pedal to the metal, working really hard, filming as much as possible, and on the computer a lot as well. And just trying to get it done so we can help, just take it to the next level. And, I've always been happy with my business and the stuff that I'm putting out, but I've always known that I can really step it up and really give a superior product to what I was doing before.
That's so cool. So I imagine it's going to have like a library of all of your different workouts.
Yeah, man. We've been filming a ton of library exercises, not just demo videos, but also instructionals. So people will get to see the exercise, and if they don't know how to do it, they can click a little button on the top of the demo that says instructional, and that'll take them to another page that shows them me talking and explaining the exercise. And then after that, if they watch that, they can just go right back to the workout that we're doing. So, we're working really hard, because for me, being a coach, I want to make sure people are doing things right. And so, we could just get by with showing people the exercise video demo, but, I want people to do things right. When people share stuff on social media or they show their friends, I want to make sure they're not doing things wrong. It's a bad representation of me if they're doing it and they learn it from me. And I want to make sure they're not hurting themselves, so it's all about making sure I'm giving them all the tools to succeed, because, it's only going to help everybody be better.
That's so cool, man. When's that going to be available?
Hopefully June 1st. We're working really hard right now. We've been working all day. After we're done with this podcast, we're going to go film in the gym actually, and go knock out some more instructionals and demos. And so just keep grinding away, but we're almost there.
What drives you, Eric? I mean, as motivated as you are, is there something from your childhood? Is there just a mentality that was instilled in you by someone? What drives this passion to be so prolific and so on top of your game with everything?
Man, it's just, I love working out. I like eating good, and, working out, eating good kind of go hand in hand. When you're fueling the tank and taking care of it properly, you see real results when you put in hard work and you really take care of your body, so now that I've turned that into a business that actually, not just helps me maintain my lifestyle, but it helps me help other people and inspire other people to do the same things. It's really awesome and rewarding. And so that it just fuels the fire to, keep doing what I'm doing, because at times, you can get bored of working out, or, because for me, working out was always my outlet, and then turning it into a business, I started getting burnt out when I was training a tons of clients and, trying to help them get results. It wasn't until I actually immersed myself and like really cared about what I was doing, and I saw them getting results. I saw their happiness, and I was like, wow, like I'm actually impacting this person's life. Like I'm not just collecting a paycheck every week from these people. Like I'm actually making them happier. They're succeeding in their business because they're happier with the way they feel about themselves. And for me, it's just like, man, like what I'm doing is actually like a positive thing. I'm not just, selling crap, or I'm not just, making things up. I'm actually making a difference. And when you do that, you feel a lot more passionate. I feel more passionate about what I do, because for a while I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I told you, I dropped out of school. I was working in the warehouse. I was just kind of, just going with the flow. I was hanging out with my friends, having fun. I got the opportunity to coach, and I kind of was just winging it at first until I got to train with all those top coaches. I was learning from the best in the business, got to see all types of movers, all types of bodies. I got to coach all types of clients. And then, it really inspired me to actually, be the best that I could be, so that I could keep sharing stuff that actually works and makes people happy. And, because for me, it's just been a positive loop of, positive energy. Because, if you actually care about what you're doing, and you give people stuff that works, it's only going to, reflect good on you. And it's only going to make you step your game up and keep seeking new things to help you optimize your life as well. So yeah. It's just the beauty of being in this industry is, it's like, it's good for me and my health, and it's good for the people that I'm helping. And so that's what fuels me. And honestly, man, I want to keep helping more people. I want to help my family, because like I said, I come from like a Mexican family. A lot of people in my family are actually a little bit overweight. It's like my mom, she's like pre-diabetic. So before the whole pandemic thing happened, I was trying to get her in the gym. We're training almost every single day. Cool. So the next step is to, make sure I'm taking care of everybody, not just myself, but also my community and my family, and just make sure, everybody who wants to listen is getting some good information, and we're all getting better.
So I have a theory that I want to run by you, and it's kind of geared around how there's so many successful social media and Instagram models around health and wellness and fitness. And my thought is that people who are really fit, who, have the discipline and the motivation to get really fit, also have those same types of motivation to be successful on social media, because it's similar that you can't just get fit overnight, and you can't just get popular on social media overnight. It takes a lot of time, consistency, and really interacting and doing the work to get yourself out there. And I see that correlation. I was curious if you think that there's any type of truth to that theory.
Yeah, man, consistency, super important to make sure if you're going to start sharing stuff and you set that expectation for the people who follow you, is you have to be consistent. Because once you start dropping off and you stop posting, or they don't see you anymore, they're going to forget about you, and they're going to, go see somebody else, find information from somebody else. So if you start doing something, you want to start a new business, and you're going to start posting, just pick something that's sustainable and stick to that schedule. And that way, when people click on your profile or they sign on to YouTube, they know, oh, okay, on Wednesday is when Bobby is going to post his new kettlebell video, or his new book recommendation video. They look forward to that every day. So, have a schedule and stick to something that you're actually going to be able to keep providing value for your audience, and make sure it's, something valuable. And add your own personality to it, have some flair. Or you can, look to other people in the industry who are doing the same thing, and, don't imitate, but you can like innovate. You can take what they're doing and look up to them, and, add your own twist to it, and, make it yours, because like I look up to all kinds of other people on Instagram who are doing awesome shit. And I try out their routines, and I'm like, man, that guy's got a sweet workout. I'm gonna try it out. And then I ended up, recording my own video, doing similar stuff and posting it up, and then people dig it. It's just, we're all just sharing stuff that is nothing new. It's just, it's like people want to follow you because it's not because you're like something super extraordinary and they've never seen before. It's because they like you, and you're consistent, and you're honest, and you're authentic. So
yeah, I was just going to say authentic, man. Like I tune in, you've got your tunes cranking.
Yeah.
You're doing what you're doing. And it's real, right? It doesn't seem overly produced. but it's
Yeah.
professional and it's authentic. And
Yeah. You definitely have to make sure, you put in the work to make it high quality. And if you really want to take it to the next level, make sure you invest in yourself and the things you want to, invest in some good gear, some good camera gear, and really, because that goes a long way. People appreciate high quality content, and it's not just doesn't just separate you from everybody else, but it shows that you care and you pay attention to detail. And that's something I always done. I always make sure, when I do something, I want to make sure it's like I'm trying my best.
yeah.
I don't want to just half-ass things. And that's why, when I tell people, if you want to grow, stick to something that you can be consistent with, and stick to it, and make sure you stick to it. That way, you actually, people can rely on you, or people can look forward to what you got coming. Because if you kind of blow your load at the beginning and just like post, and all of a sudden you stop, the algorithm or your audience isn't going to favor you anymore, because you kind of just went cold turkey. So you want to make sure you stick to something you can hang with. But at the end of the day, it's not just about being consistent, but it's also about making sure you're providing something that's valuable and that people can actually use. And that's why I think people really dig some of my stuff, is because it's something you can apply with like a single kettlebell or a dumbbell or body weight. It's all stuff that you can do from home, and anybody can do. It's not intimidating. And just try to be nice to everybody. I try to make sure I engage with people, reply to people's messages, because it goes a long way. It's our community. And I get a lot more positive messages from a lot more positive than I do negative, and it's super awesome. So that's why I love it. So I'm excited to keep it going, keep trying to move on to other platforms like YouTube, and try to just try
Have
to
you leveraged
create.
TikTok yet?
Nah, man, I want to though.
Yeah.
That's the next step as well. I have a business partner and a team here, and they're all like, "Man, you gotta get on TikTok. It's super cool. There's so many things you can do on there, and I like good music." So
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of. I was like, this is perfect for you. Dude, I'm struggling. I'm trying to figure out how to incorporate it and use it in a productive way, because it's like I'll start looking at it, and 5 minutes goes by and I've like fired off a bunch of text messages to people. Like, look at this, check this out, check that out.
Yeah, that's cool though, man. Yeah, definitely want to get on TikTok. TikTok is fun. A lot of cool stuff on there. But yeah, man. But like I said, I'm trying to be authentic. I don't want to just get on TikTok and do a bunch of random stuff that's not me. I'll get on there when I want to get on there, and I'll do something when it makes sense. It just has to make sense for me. But right now, we're focused on providing these online workouts for people. Because like I said, I'm not just trying to. At this point, like I want to make sure, like I have an online presence on Instagram where people really want to do this, like the stuff that I'm doing. And so I want to make sure they can do those things in the right way, and they can, build up to some of that harder stuff. And so that's why I'm working really hard to put this app together and my website, make sure it all makes sense so that people can get to that level and not hurt themselves, because first and foremost, I want to make sure the stuff that I put out works. It's not just a bunch of bull crap.
So other than the app, I mean, I'm sure you have a lot of other irons in the fire, but is the app the main focus right now? Do you have anything else going on?
Yeah, dude, that's the focus right now. That, and, trying to, keep growing, keep getting better. But right now that's the focus, so working really hard. But hopefully once we get this up and running, hopefully things get back to normal, hopefully travel again, teach some workshops. I had a bunch of workshops planned to go almost every month. We were going somewhere, but we had to postpone all of them. So we'll be probably trying to knock out some workshops around the country once things get back to normal. Those are always fun, getting to connect with the community and, really get to put people through, the proper techniques, proper methods, getting to connect with the, the people that follow me online and do my courses, getting to teach them in person at these workshops is super awesome. because they're the ones that are heavily invested in promoting my stuff, so I want to make sure that when they're talking about me and they're talking about the things that I taught them online, that they're doing it right and that they're actually, putting out a good message. And so that's why, doing workshops has been super awesome. And getting to see new places is cool. Getting to travel with my girlfriend and see new cities is always super awesome.
Definitely.
Like I said, I like to eat, so getting to try different restaurants, local spots, is always super dope.
We need to get you to Pittsburgh for sure.
Hell yeah, man.
It's actually similar. It sounds a lot like some of the jiu-jitsu seminars and instructionals. It's got a lot of that, right? Because it's similar in the fact that there's techniques that you need to learn and teach, and you can kind of show things and expose people to it. But there is a ceiling to being able to then take it to that next level and to get some hands-on and to see somebody and to actually find the nuance in the motions and the movements that are only going to improve your abilities to perform.
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. Well, shit, man. From a social perspective, I know it at Primal Swoledier, it's probably the coolest Instagram handle out there. And then you're on YouTube as well. Where else can people find you, your workouts, and everything that you're doing?
Yeah, you can find me at ericleija.com, or you can go to primalsoldier.com. But yeah, you can check me out, check out my workouts. Hopefully my app will be launching here in the next couple of weeks. It'll be Primal Fitness on the App Store, so stay tuned for that, guys.
Yeah, let me know.
But thanks for having me, man. It's a dope podcast.
Yeah, no, for sure. Let me know when the app comes out, and I'll make sure that I put some stuff out there and let everybody know about that. And for sure, dude, if you get to the East Coast, let me know. Love to get you up here in Pittsburgh. I think what you're talking about would actually resonate heavily in this area. And if I get down to Austin after all this gets over with, I have to connect with Joe on some stuff. We need to get you some coffee, and we need to make sure that I want to get in and go through one of these health sessions with you and really feel it.
Man. Let me know when you come to Austin. I'll put you through the ringer. We'll have a little workout. But yeah, man, let me know what gyms are out there in Pittsburgh, and we'll try to schedule a workshop. Come check it out. It'll be dope.
For sure, man. Appreciate the time. Stay safe and keep kicking ass, man. I appreciate it.
You too, man. Thanks for having me on.